Good morning, guys. I'll get to the point right away. I'm retiring for good. I know the process was a pretty big deal last time, so when I woke up this morning, I figured I'd just press record and let you guys know first. So it won't be long-winded. You only get one super emotional retirement essay, and I used mine up last year. So really thank you guys so much, to every single one of you, for supporting me, my family, my friends, my teammates, my competitors. I could go on forever. There's too many. Thank you guys for allowing me to live my absolute dream. I wouldn't change a thing. Love you all.
And with that, we are at Bucs Report. It's AJ Turnup. Of course, we already know the big news that Brady the GOAT has retired. And just wow, what a hell of a ride. So I want to take a couple moments and talk directly to Brady. If you see this, or anybody in your camp, I want to give you a special thanks. I want to thank you for, first of all, taking that risk of coming to Tampa, because of course you were used to being on a team that has, like, as I already explained, two things that a coach needs to run a successful team. That's accountability and belief. Now, Belichick, throughout the years, accountability was way up here. Belief was like somewhere down the line, but he had just enough belief to make you guys champions. So you guys were always relevant as your tenure was with the Patriots. Now, of course, when his belief got too low, you had to go because you didn't have the weapons. Because to be honest, Brady, in the beginning, I wasn't too sure. I thought at that time that you were gonna be like a moderate kind of guy. And then a good buddy of mine told me, he said, well, AJ, look at what Brady has to work with in New Orleans. I mean, in New England. Can you imagine what he will do with Mike Evans, Chris Godwin, in the receiving core? And then he said he might bring other people. My guys, he predicted this. He said Gronk could come back. And I was like, you know what? You got a point. You got a real big point on that. And then when you came down here, Gronk came, playoff Lenny came, AB. I just have to roll my eyes, but at that point, AB came later on, and you established accountability and belief, discipline. You were a competitor. You helped bring the best out of our team. You did something that we haven't seen in almost 20 years. The Buccaneers were able to hoist a Lombardi trophy once again. And not only that, we dominated. And you went through hell the first season while you got here. You got down here and you played the Saints, a team that had good defensive players. And then you still got through it, got us to an amazing 11-5 record. I mean, we didn't win the division, but when I knew that things were going to turn out really well for the Bucs is when we blew out Detroit, because at that point we took care of a team that we were supposed to take care of. So that's when I realized we were on a run. Now, I predicted that we would win the Super Bowl because of drafting Tristan Wirfs and Antoine Winfield. But fast forward, when you when I saw that you got through that damn Saints game, I knew we were on to something. You prevailed. This team was whooping our ass the entire season. They embarrassed us that second game. They embarrassed you, and you still found a way. And then you played lights out the first half of the Green Bay game in the NFC Championship, and then you helped us get to the promised land where the Bucs. I just think your presence allowed the Bucs to play at another level, especially on defense. Jason Pierre-Paul, Shaq Barrett, they wreaked havoc. We embarrassed Mahomes. After that game, you was already solidified, but I don't give a damn what anybody else says. Mahomes will never touch you because Mahomes could never beat you when it truly mattered. And you did that. The Buccaneers were able to host a damn boat party, true Florida style. And I love it. As a Tampa native, that was some Florida shit. And I enjoyed it. Throwing the damn Lombardi trophy across the boat, having parties around, and then you did all this during the pandemic. And even the Super Bowl year, the pandemic was still, we was cautious. You helped bring a championship to Tampa Bay. Then we did the unthinkable the second year. We brung all of the starters back. And we were rocking and rolling, especially on offense. We was killing. We were killing. I was thinking, man, and just think about it. We were we were one screwed up play away from most likely repeating as Super Bowl champions, because I do believe we beat the Rams, the Bengals wouldn't have stood a chance against us, and we would have won. I believe that with my entire heart and soul that we was going to be back-to-back champions. But of course, an idiotic decision on Bowles, which traveled to this season, of course, messed us up. I think I can honestly say I think the Bucs fan base, we haven't yet to forgive Bowles for that, because in a way he ruined that year. That our season went down the toilet because of a dumbass. When we wanted him to stop playing cushion, he played it. When we wanted him to be physical, he played cushion. So it's just like, man. But then the third season, it didn't go the way that it should have went. But you still played your ass off. Now, did you have some down moments? Absolutely, Brady. You sure did. You wasn't you didn't have that same dog fight in you, and I don't know what it was. I won't get in your personal business because I don't know you like that. But it was just certain things that I felt some type of way about. You weren't you willing to stand in the pocket. You weren't making things happen. Now, for the most part, I only give you 25% of the blame, and the rest goes to the damn coaching staff. Bowles was too erratic. Defense was decent, but when it was time for them to be great, they folded. Byron, I've explained he didn't know what the hell he was doing, and I feel bad for you because they messed you up. But even despite all that, you still found a way to get us to the playoffs. That Saints and Rams game was hella good. The Panthers game where you were able to help Evans continue his Hall of Fame streak. What I want to say is thank you for making us competitive, relevant, and Super Bowl champions, Brady. Thank you for helping. And whatever you decide to do with your retirement, I wish you nothing but blessings and success and whatever adventures you go into, because you deserve it, GOAT. Appreciate you. And again, for one, you brung us glory. You helped bring glory. So that's what I can say. And thanks, Tom. I appreciate it. Thank you, GOAT. Now, with that being said, let's look at this man's like what he did for us. 2020, 4,633 yards, 40 touchdowns, 12 interceptions. 2021, 5,316 yards, 43 touchdowns, and 12 interceptions, which he should have won the MVP that year, but they wanted to just kiss Aaron Rodgers' ass so much. That was just dumb. And then even this year, you threw for 4,694 yards, 25 touchdowns, 9 interceptions. So you threw for 14,643 passing yards as your tenure here with the Bucs. 108 touchdowns to 33 interceptions. That's fucking great. That's fucking good. I mean, do you realize you damn near you're not too far behind like Troy Aikman in his entire career. That's crazy. And you did all of that, and then we were 11-5 1 year, 13-4 next, and 8-9 this year. So what can I say, man? Thanks. And now, with that being said, I appreciate Brady doing what he did. But now, if I'm the Glazers, it is time to move on. We appreciate him giving us a major heads up now before the end of the Super Bowl. This is time that the Bucs need to really make sure that we pick the right damn offensive coordinator. This season really is going to determine how we are going to be for the next few years. We have to be smart about this. We really do, folks, because now this is a time where um, if we get the wrong system, we can set not only ourselves back, but other players, stars on our team can just walk away and say, I don't want to be in this dumpster fire. I'll go somewhere else where I can get more money. And that's where I want to go to tonight about that. Of course, I know this. We're talking about Brady. We have other guests coming on, so when they come on, we can talk more about Brady. Um, what else? There's so much I can say about Brady. Um, like some of my most memorable moments that I'll go over about him. The first season, that game against the Chargers, how he was just slinging that rock all over to everybody. That shit was crazy. One of the best passes I've seen him do it in his entire career was that throw to OJ Howard. It was flawless and it was perfect. It was just perfect. It was like you couldn't teach that. That throw was just where it needed to go. And then the deep ball to Scotty Miller. And then that throw. Now, don't get me wrong, Evans made more of an incredible catch by adjusting, but it was just you were spot on that season. Uh, you just made a lot of memorable moments. We can go over each season when I have more guests on, but you did so much. It was just amazing. 3 straight playoffs, and we won back-to-back the NFC South titles. If Glazers, you got to find someone. We have to find someone to bring that spark back. We really do, especially with the offensive coordinator. We need accountability and belief. That is the first damn line of business that you need to establish. Bring somebody in there that can establish accountability and belief. Accountability means they're going to hold everybody accountable for their actions. If they're fucking up, if they're doing stupid shit, or if they're not adjusting and getting with the program, we need that. Nothing we need belief. We need to really reestablish that confidence in our players. I didn't see that from Leftwich. I just saw incompetence and idiotic, irrational, decisions and non-decisions. To be honest, he didn't do a damn thing. The way that if I was a player on this season, I would have been like, damn, do you believe in me or do you believe in the opposition? You want Mike Evans to understand that he is a special talent. He is an elite receiver. Let's get him involved. Evans, I believe in you. No matter if you drop a pass or not, I know I can count on you to make up for it. Chris Godwin, the same thing. Kate Otten, I believe in your potential this season coming up. We're going to get you more involved in the passing game. Can you run a seam? How are you on the short yardages? How are you on out routes? How are you on curls? How are you on blocking? What can we do to get you more involved? Scotty Miller, let's see if we can use you, your speed to a major advantage. Let's see if we can use you in under routes. Let's make you the safety blanket with your speed for the next quarterback, just in case. That is what you need to establish. Defense, we believe that you can get things done. I believe that if I call these certain schemes, you can get it done. Or how about this? Hey, let's take some notes. Carlton Davis, SMB, if he stays. Dean, what is it that you guys like to do better that we can, we can compromise and we can do like 50-50? Because I want to know your input. I don't want you to feel as if you can't talk to me. I want you to be blatant with me. That's what we need. That's what we were missing with Arians. Arians put his foot up your ass, but he did it with purpose to say, I'm doing this because I care and I believe in your abilities, but you got to work with me. We need that. This season, I just kind of felt that people were just there to work. It was like you were going to a job that you didn't want to do and you were just trying to get it over with. And that is not the right mindset. I honestly think If I can't get Monken, I do want Monken because he has good familiarity with us, especially when James was there. We had a productive season. But if we don't get Monken, I want to get somebody again that's fresh, that thinks outside the bullshit coaching box to where they just gonna go by something to be safe. No, take risk. With Mike Evans and Godwin at the helm, you have fun with this offense. I think a lot of people forget that, especially in the coaching department. Now, you'll have certain people out there say, oh, well, this ain't bad. The fuck it isn't. Change it up. Think outside the box. The whole point is, as a coordinator, is to play chess against your opponents, is to make them overzealous, to make them confused, to make them frustrated. That is what your job is as an offensive coordinator to do, and bring the best out of your players. And if something happens, you adjust. That is what's important. You find a way to adjust and say, okay, all right, if I don't have this person, then if I don't have a lineman and he goes down, we're going to get another line in. We're going to do a max protect, or hey, running backs, for right now, I need you to do a little more chipping. Receivers, if you got a slow linebacker or a slow corner on you, we're gonna do a deep in route, or we're gonna do a quick out route. That is the kind of offensive coordinator we need. So if I'm the Glazers and we're doing an interview, I'm going to give you certain scenarios. I'm going to ask you, what was the weaknesses of my team? Okay, why was the run so weak? What can we do to get that run to be better and be stronger? Because best believe we need a coordinator that can get the run game from 32 to at least to 16. We need it to be halfway better than what it was. We need to get there to that level. So I would either say Monken or someone that's just gonna take chances and have fun. Now I know people will say that, well, this job isn't tempting because they don't want to come here and get the risk. I disagree. We still have a solid team to be relevant. People are forgetting that Jensen will be fully healthy, Stenny will be fully healthy, Leverett was really good. Wirfs is Wirfs. Shaq Mason, he did a decent job, I think. So the line, we're literally only a left tackle away from being a complete unit again. So, and then with the receiving core is still solid. So if you in the offseason, you can just if you can get a veteran quarterback in here, we can at least be competitive, or we go with Trask. I just want to see what the Bucs if we don't get anybody in free agency, roll the dice with Trask. What do you really have to lose? Let's see if he's good. What we don't want to do is have another Steve Young mishap where they go somewhere else and shine, all because we didn't want to give him a chance. Because what is the purpose of drafting him if you knew he wasn't anything? And I know people out there will disagree with me and say, well, if he couldn't start over Gabbard, I'm here to tell you right now, Byron Leftwich was the damn coaching person, and so was Bowles. I don't give a shit what they think, because for all you know, they was ruining him. Let's not forget, let's not act like, guys, that coaches don't make mistakes or don't know what the hell they're doing. There are a lot of players out there right now with ruined careers because coaches didn't know what the hell they were doing, and they couldn't hold accountability to themselves and admit, I didn't know what the hell I was doing. Now let's look at certain comments. I'd rather draft a rookie and play him than play Trask. We already know he stinks. No, we don't. Jeff Olson, I disagree. How do you know? We haven't seen him enough. We haven't. We literally seen him like a few times. And again, that could be because the coaches don't know what the hell they're doing. We have to act. We have to get out of this mindset that every coach knows what they're doing, because they don't. Look at what Byron did to this entire offense this season. Look at what he did. Matter of fact, look at what he didn't do. No adjustments, no creativity, no imagination, no belief. So let's get out of that mindset that just because of his title and position, he knew what he was doing. We got to destroy that narrative, because if that were the case, no coaches would get fired. That means no coordinators would be fired. Everybody doesn't know what they're doing just because they get in this position. Some people just get more opportunity than others, and they were just lucky. Let's see. Trask was bad in college. We've never seen him be anything but bad. That's not true. That's not true as well. And besides, there were a lot of moderate players that got to the league and blew up. It happens all the time. It really does. You can't judge them by college, to be honest, because college and NFL are totally two different levels. You know this. Again, you can't go by certain things. Why not see what he can do? I mean, Trask is a decent mobile quarterback. And we need a mobile quarterback, I think, in this day and age, unless we get a complete solid line. We got to get better with the play calling. With this receiving core, I told you guys, we get it. I want to run a spread, run more spreads, do more play action, bootlegs, and we need someone, a quarterback that can improvise and keep the plays alive and stretch the field. If he's mobile, if he can just run a little bit, we need that kind of quarterback because unfortunately Brady didn't do that. Trask is a statue with a winning arm. That's not like Jeff. We haven't seen enough of him. For all you know, he might go somewhere else with a patient offensive coordinator or coach, and he balls the hell out. We've seen this with, you know, look at what happened to Steve Young when he went to San Fran under a coach that knew what the hell he was doing, and he also was able to be behind Joe Montana. Look what Steve Young did. He's a Hall of Fame quarterback now. So you have to give him a shot. And worst case scenario, if he's some shit, then we draft a quarterback next season. In my opinion, first round, we get a left tackle because I'm not too keen on Donovan Smith anymore. I'm not sure about him. He's too inconsistent. We want a top tier left tackle now. That is what's important, no matter what quarterback we get, because if quarterback cannot get enough protection on his blind side, then that's irrelevant. And Donovan Smith causes too many penalties. So I would go for a left tackle, first round left tackle, second round defensive interior to support Vita Vea. Or if we get a pass rusher in the second round, he has to be a for sure kind of guy where we know he's an immediate starter. So that is the thing. The first four picks of the Bucs, they have to be home runs like we were in 2020. If they're not, we're gonna fail. We're gonna simply fall on our faces. So that is going to be imperative. So first round, left tackle immediately. I like the guy from Oklahoma or Georgia. We need a guy that's physical and really good at the pass rush, and we need a very mobile and more, in my opinion, a conditioned left tackle that can move around. I didn't see that much in Donovan. It's like when he gets beat, and it's a wrap. We need that. And then I want either a hell of a pass rusher and a linebacker or something, or edge rusher, or we go to an interior to help Vita. Right now, I feel like we can do more in the second round and get a defensive line interior to help Vita because we want Vita. That's our star. We want him to be healthy as much as possible, and we want another guy to be able to stop the run. So, in my opinion, get somebody that can help stop the run. That is what we need. Then the third round, of course, we do get another edge rusher because we want to compliment Shaq because he's going to be coming off an injury and we don't know how he's going to be. Now, I'm hopeful that he will be fine, but I don't see him really coming back into full form until the almost, I'd say, week 10 or 11. And we don't know what will be by then. So and then if we get a corner, I would like to get a corner maybe in the fourth round, just in case if we can't keep Dean and SMB for reasonable prices. That's another thing we have to be real about that. So that's just how I am. And if Brady what did come back, I would have said keep Leonard Fournette, but if playoff Lenny is, we don't really need him anymore, to be honest, because you can draft a running back on North and South later on down the line. Rashad White is the future anyway. And I liked Keyshawn Vaughn. I think they just misused him. All right, let's see what Olsen said. Just drafted QB in the 6th round this year, and we have him when us. Yeah, right. Nah. 6th round. I would just say at this point, go for a quarterback in the free agency. Baker Mayfield is not going to be expensive. Maybe Derek Carr, but Baker's mobile. He knows how to keep plays open. Imagine, him being able to improvise and throw to Mike Evans and Godwin. Because let's just be real, Evans is going to be a dog no matter who's the quarterback. He had McCown throwing to him before, Mike Glennon's of the world. Like, come on, he will be just fine. That's what I'm trying to explain to people. This Bucs offense, they draft right and get a solid left tackle. If this left tackle can be at least 70% of what Trask was his rookie season, and Jensen and Stinney and them are back and Leverett, and you got and now you have depth. So now the line will be much better. And whatever quarterback comes in, you find out what his strengths are and you work with him. Again, I wouldn't mind seeing Trask getting a shot because again, he didn't. It wasn't like he had a good offensive coordinator, and he learned 2 years behind Brady. So I would hope that Trask took the advantage and learned under Brady. Let's see. Carr would be a good ad, but Baker stinks. Just got to figure out the money. Carr would be good too. He would eat up a little bit of cap, I think, but I would hope if we were to get Derek Carr, this is a hungry Derek Carr who wants to stick it to Vegas for dogging him out. I mean, Carr didn't really have a chance with a 32nd ranked defense all the time. They just couldn't get it together. And everybody knows in the beginning I was not big on getting Baker Mayfield. Still not. But if he were to be here, we can get him for a cheap deal. I wouldn't mind. I definitely wouldn't mind that. Well, that's just the offensive side. But we got a special guest in here right now, guys. We have Rick Hughes. Let's bring him on. Good evening, Rick. How's
Good evening.
I'm hanging in there, my man. Just we here to discuss end of an era.
Well, what happened?
The GOAT, right? And you kind of were calling this stuff this entire year. You said that. So give me your thoughts on him retiring and just say, memorable moments you have and what do we do next?
First of all, thank you, Tom Brady, for 3 great years, the best 3 years of this franchise. I've been a fan of this franchise since year 1. This was the best 3-year stretch this franchise has ever had. Thank you. Having said that, I'm kind of glad the circus has left town. It's time to sweep up the parking lot.
Right.
It's time to let's move on now.
Yeah.
And it's time for a new, the circus is gone. All right.
Mm-hmm.
Now what do we do? All right. It was a very entertaining circus. It was great. Now, I think the team is in a position where you don't have to tear everything down. It's not like a rebuild, like everything has to be torn apart. The salary cap is not horrible when it comes to Brady. It's 11 million this year, 24 million next year is Brady's hit. 11 million this year is nothing, really is nothing.
Right.
They can work around that easily.
Agreed.
I think we're gonna see some faces going go away that we've sort of gotten used to having around. Probably a Fournette. There are going to be some players that are going to be gone.
Mm-hmm.
Quarterback wise, buckle up.
I love that you said that. I mean, I look at it as like this, man. Whatever happens, you can get a court. I don't see us getting a true established quarterback in this draft this year. I really don't. I don't want to go for that. The more that you were talking about Baker, in the beginning, I was like, ugh, but now it kind of does sound a little tempting because he can extend plays, and it's not like he would come in here empty-handed. Mike Evans and Chris Godwin, and a lot of people forgetting we're going to have a healthier line coming in with Stinney, Jensen, Nick Leverett.
Yeah.
And then if we draft the left tackle, which I feel that we should the first round because Donovan's too inconsistent.
Well, Donovan's gone. Donovan's going to be gone from a salary cap perspective. I think he's going to be gone.
Okay. I agree with that. So yeah, I would love
gone. Donovan's gone.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean it is what it is. Somebody's going to ask at a press conference in the next few days. Somebody's going to ask Jason Light, "What are you going to do at quarterback?" And you know what I think his response should be?
What?
If I knew what I was going to fucking do, I'd have already done it.
Right. That is going to be the big thing. Can you imagine the next quarterback that does come in? He has to fill Brady's shoes.
It already happened in New England. They've already been through this. I mean,
know.
listen, we had 3 great years.
Yes.
We kicked the can down the road, but I mean, guys, we can suck next year and still win the division. Okay.
Yes.
So this is really kind of perfect timing. Maybe 1 year earlier would have been really perfect timing.
Yes.
But really, this is the time to get in rebuild mode. Okay. When you
got a point. I think, and I think from audiences out here, Rick has been talking about that he wants the Bucs to succeed for the future long run. So let's give Rick that. We got to give him his flowers of that. He was trying to explain to everybody that this isn't going to be a good thing because this is the right time, because now we won't be in too much cap hell the next season, and we don't have to rebuild.
Worse. Yeah. It would have gotten a lot worse.
Right. So I agree with that. I think we were all just we got spoiled, Rick.
Listen, here it is. You ready?
Yes.
We've been dating the most beautiful girl you've ever seen. Yep. I'm talking the most beautiful woman in history. All right, we've been dating her. She's been ours. It's been awesome. She left. Now we gotta now imagine anybody else.
Right. And there's no saying she was never yours. It was just your turn. It was just our turn. Yeah. And now she's gone.
Yeah.
And and now we, like you said, now we have to go, damn it. Where do you go from here? Yes.
And no matter who it is, no matter what, it could be a wonderful woman. Spectacular. But man, not compared to what we just had.
Right. You're not her.
Yeah.
And what she brung to you. It's like this was the hot chick that helped you get into clubs for free. You didn't have to pay for anything. You got 100,000 followers from Instagram just because. And you were getting offers from other girls. Now, like you said, now that fun is over, now you have to go back to being a citizen. Now you have to go back
that's what it is.
And at this point, Kyle Trask is the girl that's just like, I'm just ready to be yours. And you're like,
Lord.
Exactly. You're like, no, I'll think about it. But we have to see. So what? Okay, I'm glad you did that, because there's a lot of trash stands out there. What message are you gonna send to them, Rick? Please tell us.
Shut up.
Oh God,
that is how I feel. I mean, it's like he didn't even take.
Damn.
He didn't even take one practice snap, and you want Kyle Trask. He hasn't even taken one practice snap.
I know.
Stop it.
I get it. And it's like, I'll say this. We haven't, but in his defense, we did. And I know we've had our differences, but Byron Leftwich was the guy calling shots, and I can't take him serious. This is the same guy that when we were in trouble, hey, they're loading the box. What are you going to do? Let's run to the right side. It'll work.
This was the same guy, though, who allegedly called plays during the Super Bowl.
And I thank you for saying allegedly, because let's be real. In the words of this generation, I call cap, because ain't no way in hell. Of course, Arians is going to say that.
Whoa. Hold on. Roll that back. I call cap.
Yes, that's what the new kids say, man. Cap
Explain this to me. I need help.
It's like it's just another euphemism for exaggeration, that this person is just making up stuff. It's overhyped. We call cap on that. It's like, oh no, that's cap. Like the simple fact that Arian said that Byron was calling the shots, cap. That's BS. There's no way in hell, because
it's in the place of, in my generation, bullshit.
Exactly. That's what it is, because we can look at the statistics and the designs of the plays and know, okay, you were full of shit, Byron and Arians. There's no way. Literally, I see no risk it, no biscuit from Byron. I saw burning the biscuit. There was no biscuit to risk. The damn thing.
We had earlier tonight on my show, we had big game James Canada, used to play for the Buccaneers, on the show, and I had the opportunity to ask him straight up, how bad was Byron Leftwich? And even he said, Well, he supposedly called the plays, but I during the Super Bowl year, but I mean, we're all going to feel the same way on that. We're all going to feel the same way on that. But wait, what's the name of this show?
Bucs Report, the aftermath.
The aftermath. It's when we can vent, right?
Yes, exactly. We can share our.
I've got a one final time.
Yes,
I need to get this off my chest. One final time. Name any player in the history of the NFL that if you said, well, he wasn't really into it this year because he got divorced, that we would have said that would have been okay. If Jameis Winston had gotten divorced,
yeah,
and he wasn't all in, would we have said, well, he had a rough year. He had some personal stuff. No,
not at all. No, we would have
saying it about this guy. Listen, thank you, Tom Brady, for being here for 3 years. Thank you. I appreciate it.
Right.
But I am so sick and tired of hearing excuses. Let me say this clearly.
Mm-hmm.
The Tampa Bay Buccaneers had a quarterback this year that wasn't all in. Let that wash over you.
Right.
In what other year would you be okay with your quarterback not being all in? Because his wife.
No, I get what you're saying, because we didn't give Donovan Smith the same excuses when he said he has something mental going on. Most fans chewed him out and said, well, if you can't play, then get the hell off the field because you're hurting us more than helping us.
Oh, but he had personal stuff. What?
Right.
God.
Exactly. Trust me.
He wasn't all in? What? Yeah, well, he came in 15 pounds underweight, and, he took 11 days off in training camp. Oh, my God.
You're never gonna
being Todd Bowles. And I'm even going to say it. Imagine being Byron Leftwich. Okay. Now, Byron Leftwich, in my opinion, he was just in over his head. Okay. Probably not a bad dude, but he was in over his head, and Bruce carried him. Okay. And then when Bruce was gone, all of a sudden he kind of got exposed. But having said that, imagine being Todd Bowles.
Yeah.
And you're sitting here looking around. You got injuries everywhere. You've got a quarterback. You have a quarterback that's not all in. He's not. Guys, wrap your mind around it. Let it wash over you and stop making excuses. He's the greatest quarterback ever who wasn't all in this year. Your quarterback wasn't all in. Oh, my God.
I know, and it sounds almost blasphemous to think that, but it's okay to think that, because there were certain times where even I called things, like when he wasn't trying to take the hits, when he was throwing the ball away too fast.
You mean like all season?
Yeah, when he wasn't
letting step up in the pocket. Yeah.
Yes, when he would not do that, that would piss me off something fierce, because there were a lot of plays that he left out there on the field. And at that point, you couldn't blame Byron for that, because there were certain times where Byron did call a good play and it didn't work, but that was on Brady. I can tell you quite a few. There was a play in the Cardinals game where he overthrew Julio, and I said, whoa, Brady makes that play 90%, 95% of the time in his sleep. What the hell?
Everybody who says just every freaking excuse for this guy. Listen, I've said it. I think I'm clear.
Yes.
Thank God for Tom Brady in Tampa.
Yes.
But I mean, it was over, guys. And if they brought him back, it was because he's selling merchandise and tickets. Okay.
Now, yes, you have a point there, because even as much as sometimes he gets on my nerves, and I still like him a lot. Shannon Sharp even said, I think he made a conscious decision not to come back, because he said if this year was bad, he said, can you imagine if he were to come back and he takes this team to 5-12? He said, then you really would have a problem in his legacy. Because let's just say this, we already know.
Not. Do you know what Dan Marino's last game was?
No.
They lost like 62-7 in the playoffs to, I think, Jacksonville.
Good God.
Yeah, who cares?
Right,
Who
but yeah,
cares?
we don't care. Right, this season, this was just the season you could say where some people will say this, that it just all it did was pad up Brady's stats where nobody will touch it anymore.
Good for him. Good for him. But I mean, and that's fine. But everybody who says things like, well, you know, he threw for, you realize how many yards he threw for? He threw more passing attempts than anybody in the history of the NFL. He had more completions than anybody, but he had.
Mm-hmm. I hear you.
It was time, guys. It was time.
It was time. And speaking of that, since you're not a trash person, somebody said Fred Moore said if Toilet Bowls starts trash this year, he's looking for a new job next year. Good God. My God, people really don't like Trask.
Well, listen here. There's no reason to like Trask. It's okay to say, listen, he's never taken a snap in practice. Why would I like Trask as a professional quarterback? Why?
Right.
There's literally no reason. You're just looking and going, well, I hope this guy. That's as far as you can go reasonably. You can say, well, I hope this guy. You can't look at it and say, well, look what he did in college. He was okay in college. He showed some potential.
He showed flashes, yes.
Right. But this is not a guy that you're looking at going, oh man, I can't wait till he gets on the field. You're saying, hey, do you remember what happened in college? He came in as like number 3, 4, whatever, and he slowly worked his way up. He was developmental, and probably looking at the same thing. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe he'll stick around. Maybe I get the feeling Trask is kind of like a Blaine Gabbert. He's going to be around for a long time,
right?
Just not starting. And
I would hope he take notes from Brady. You would hope that sitting there into those 2 years, you learned something. That's all I would say for him. You better have learned something from the GOAT. Now, let me ask you this then. Give me, if you can, because we're just trying to send Brady off the right way, and then we're gonna go down to other business. Give me 3 top moments that you could say that you enjoyed Brady here as a Buck. 3 top moments.
The Scotty Miller before halftime pass. You got to say the Super Bowl. You got to say that. I don't think the Rams this year, maybe, no, I'll probably say the Rams this year because it was so magical to come back that much. That was a big comeback.
Yes.
And it was against a team I really don't like. So I don't know. Was it that, or was it New Orleans beating New Orleans any and all of those times that number 3 is hard because let me say this. Dude left me with a lot of nice memories.
Yes.
Thank you for being on this team. Now, as much as I've ripped him, I am so grateful for these 3 years. I am so grateful. I've been a Bucs fan since 76. I loved these 3 years.
Me too.
But the thing is, we've all been Brady fans for the last 3 years. It's time to roll it back and become Buccaneers fans again. And the people who stick around, you're Buccaneers fans, you're not Brady fans. And I appreciate the fact that we had the Brady fans. That means more money for our franchise. That means a better situation all around for our franchise. Guys, sometimes sit in your quiet moment alone.
Yeah.
And think about, no, not that. Think about,
right.
Think about, we have the best player in the history of the NFL suit up in our uniform, take the field, and lead us to a championship. Dude, That's awesome.
That's a movie.
We got to watch that crap. I mean, 4 years ago, when you know who was quarterback,
Yes.
and we were dealing with that. Okay. And they announced big news. We're changing uniforms. That was the big news. You remember that?
Yes.
They were going to change uniforms. They had little teaser videos out and all kinds of things because, we were all excited. The Buccaneers are going to change uniforms. We had no idea we were going to get Brady, a Super Bowl, and 2 NFC South championships in a row. Awesome.
You're right. And just think about this. 4 years ago, we were scared that we were going to waste talent. Do you remember? I remember those days, Evans and Godwin.
Yeah.
We were so scared. We were like, oh my God, what if Evans just says the hell with this? I got to go.
Yep.
If Evans would have, that was my fear. I'm like, my God, if these players just are like, I can't do this shit anymore.
Yeah.
That probably would have broken my heart even more because you could tell Light drafted so much promise and talent. And like you said, when Brady got drafted, I was like, huh? We got Brady?
When I still remember Colin Cowherd. I was listening to Colin Cowherd, and he goes, I'm hearing Tampa. And I was like, no.
Right.
I literally remember being like, no, come on, Colin. This is where Colin was wrong. I mean, that's what I'm waiting for. That I'm hearing Tampa. When he said those words, I'm hearing Tampa. I'm like, no. That doesn't even make sense. It just doesn't fit. It doesn't feel right. No, it doesn't feel right. It doesn't feel like that could happen. No. All of that is awesome. We had 3 great years.
And the funny
I'm ready, guys. I am ready for what's next.
Me too, man. I will say I could say 3 just off the back is that Miami game in the second season, how he just was firing on all cylinders. It was like the way we scored against the Dolphins. It was like we were playing with them because remember they were up in the beginning, and then Brady just said, "Okay, I'm tired." He's that guy. He was like the gamer where they sit back and then if they feel like things going their way, he sat up and said, "All right, let me just go ahead and just start just throwing this shit to everybody." I like
Fred Moore's last comment.
Oh yeah,
that's a funny moment.
Oh,
Brady
it was
high five the ref against the Saints, and remember Brady.
Yeah.
When he did with third down, was it third down?
Yes. Oh yeah. No. I love it because that was going to be my next one. That was a dog fight, and Brady. That is when I knew, like, I had more confidence that we're going all the way. Once we got past the Saints, I was already at peace. And then the simple fact that he was shaking Breeze's hand and saying goodbye to the kids, and then when he gets back into the locker, say, "Yeah, I got his ass." I was like, "That is my God. That is fire." And then, of course, like you said. Number one is that Scotty Miller. That is right to me, right behind Rondé Barber.
Rondé Barber. Yeah.
That is because I remember I was in a Bucs bar at Arlington Rooftop in Arlington.
Yeah.
We saw like somebody yell, "Oh my God." And then I didn't realize it was me because I was like,
that's awesome.
I didn't, it just came out of my voice because I was like, I saw the corner king move forward. Then when I saw Scotty, I said, "Oh my God." And then he just caught it. And then you're good when you have Troy Aikman going, "Oh my God."
Yeah.
That's when I also knew that game, it was a wrap, no matter what, because Brady stunk it up in the second half, but they just took all it's like the Packers were just defeated after that. They just said, "Damn it." And then a side of the game is the game that we played against the Rams last year in the playoffs.
Yeah.
That was the best Brady I've ever seen. I'm going to keep it real. Brady was the winner of that. The loser was Bowles calling that dumbass blitz.
Well, but the thing is, it was so close to that play working, and there was miscommunication on the defense, which seems to be a theme.
Exactly.
But, there was miscommunication on the defense, and he got hit like a millisecond after releasing that ball. You guys don't realize we were like a millisecond from winning that game. And
I'm with you. I just wouldn't have called that at that point. I would have like at that point, he does things when we don't need him to. At that point, if you want to play a little cushion coverage on that, I would have given you that, because had they have played that, I feel like Stafford wouldn't have went to Cup, because I don't think
the
Cup
people had played like they were supposed to. If everybody had gotten the message on what the play is, somebody would have been back there. So
right.
I mean, that's the heartbreak. It is what it is. That's why there are certain teams
that keeps us from winning another Super Bowl. You cannot. We would have destroyed the Bengals. 2-time champion, and then that, I feel like that game changed the entire history of the Bucs, because
I think
that game,
AB leaving is the moment. AB leaving. That was the turning point when things started. The wheel started to come off. But I think when you go back to history, everything was great until that moment. And when that moment happened, that was the arc just started.
I hear you. No, I get that.
I gotta run because I gotta be at work early in the morning. But I wanted to come on and say this. Yeah, I just wanted to come on and get a little bit off my chest. And I love this show. I love doing that. I love the fact that this is a good rant and a good vent place.
Absolutely. Tell us where we can find you, Rick. Please tell the folks, because
everybody go to www.bucs.live. And please go there. There's a YouTube link there. Please go there and subscribe. We got a brand new YouTube channel, so I would appreciate it if you would do that. And guys, we're on Tuesday nights at 9:00, sometimes 8, depending on what we feel like. But yeah, just keep an eye on us. You'll see all our links. Follow us and seriously, be around. It's a good show. It's a lot of fun. We had Big Game James Canada on this week, and David Whitescarver and myself. Have a good time. And seriously, AJ, thank you. I appreciate you let me come on here and vent and get that off my chest, because
I love it. I love it. Hey, you called it at the end of the year, guys. I appreciate you giving true Bucs fans hope that there's life after the GOAT, and there will be.
There will be. It's not going to be all perfect and magical again next year, and there's going to be some players you like
that are gone,
and some things that you might not be comfortable with, that we may no longer have those players around.
Mm-hmm.
You may have to say goodbye. I think you're going to say goodbye to Cam Braid. I think you're going to say goodbye to I think it's playoff Lenny is gone. I think you're going to have to say goodbye to some different folks, some that you got used to.
Mm-hmm.
But the thing is this, like Pittsburgh, think about Pittsburgh.
Mm-hmm.
The Steelers, they're always good, right? Tomlin never had a losing record, right?
Right.
And Juju Smith-Schuster leaves, and people leave, and they just keep going. They just keep going. You keep doing it. You keep, you don't get yourself in cap hell, and the Buccaneers still have an opportunity to really avoid cap hell. So
You're right. You are absolutely right. And it's just, there's life again. There's going to be life after this. We're going to finally get that. We won't have the most beautiful woman, but we're going to have the most supportive woman. And that's all that matters.
Oh, she may not be the most beautiful, but you may still have the best relationship. So it may be more long-term. So
I love that.
All of that is good.
Thank you, Rick. Well, we appreciate your time, Rick. You take it easy. And, again, go Bucs, my man.
Go Bucs, go Bucs, go Bucs.
Yes, guys. So Rick did say that we had these discussions way before. He is one of those guys that, as we are true Bucs fans. True Bucs fans, please understand, we had a hell of a ride with Brady. That was a hell of a ride. And, with that being said, like Benny King said, the thrill is gone. But that doesn't mean it has to stay gone. It's just we were up on such a high level. Just 3 years, like the first 2 years, we were just spoiled. Again, like you said, we had the baddest chick in the game. She was bad, and everybody, you felt good. You was that average guy that got that woman because she saw the potential in you and she brung it out of you. And you was getting, again, followers on the gram. People were paying attention to you. You mattered. You got things. She showed you worlds that you never thought you could get into. but then she got tired of you. She said, all right, my mission here is done. You were her project. And unfortunately, it was time for her to move on. And it happens. It really does. And that's just what it does. That's just how it is. And like he said, we're gonna have to say goodbye to certain people because let's look at the free agents. William Golston, Rakeem Nunez Roaches, Blaine Gabbert. Let's see who else. Kyle Rudolph. Hold on. Yeah, Levante David, Akeem Hicks, Julio, Sean Murray Bunton, Aaron Stinney, Josh Wells, Giovanni Bernard, I'm sorry, Keanu Neal, Perriman, Carl Nassib, Logan Ryan, Avery, Jamel Dean, Mike Edwards, Anthony Nelson, Nick Leverett, Scotty Miller. We got a shit ton of people that we're going to have to say goodbye to. So if I had to say goodbye, Julio, goodbye, Rakeem Nunez Roches, because I still like William. Goodbye, Blaine Gabbert. Goodbye, Rudolph. Goodbye, Giovanni. Goodbye, Rashad Perriman. Goodbye, Cam Gill. Goodbye, Delaney. I would want to keep Aaron Stinney. I would want to keep William Golston. I would want to keep Jamel Dean. I would want to keep Edwards, Nelson, and Nassib. And I think those are possible. Because a few of them, only Dean will ask for a lot of money, but Nassib and the rest of them, you can find a way to get them for cheap. But the defensive side, we still have a lot of upside with Devin being there, Antoine Winfield, Carlton Davis, Vita Vea. Hopefully Levante comes back for one more season. And I hope he's willing to take a pay cut. And I hope, honestly, I would hope next year would be his last season and he will retire as a Buck. But if he wants to get that money somewhere else, I can't blame him. But we're going to have to say goodbye to a lot of these people. And I know what he said about Trask. I guess call me like one of those hopeless romantics of players, but I still would like to see what he does because I don't see a true quarterback in this draft that we're going to get. I want a left tackle. That is a left tackle is what we need because as he said, if Donovan can be gone, I want him gone. That is what we need to get this offense going. So that is how I feel about it. And yeah, that's just what I think. So the defense will be fine, and we're going to be doing a lot of things. But again, they have to get the OC right. I really hope Monken gets this job, or whoever is in here, he just brings back the instill the value of guys. We're in here to win this whole thing. We're in here to do a hell of a job. We're in here to improve. We might not win it all this season, but we're going to improve. And this is going to be a lot on Bowles because Bowles, you better pick the right one, and your defense better stay a top 10. If the defense starts to drag, but the offense, let's say if the offense, worst case scenario, the offense is like top 5, but the defense all of a sudden gets in like the mid pack, maybe close to 20, then Bowles is gone and the OC will be the coach because they'll get somebody else in here to help this defense. The most simplest thing that I would say to Bowles, just play to the strengths, man. Stop the damn cushion. That is not what our corners are designed for. We have physical corners. And if you do that, the pass rush will be there. So if Shaq Barrett could come back strong, you want Shaq Barrett to be able to go off because the opposing quarterback can't throw because we are jamming up the receivers on the line of scrimmage. You got a guy like in Antoine Winfield that can help get double someone or get a pick. He can do that. Bring back Edwards. He can do the same. Logan Ryan, maybe. But also in the interior, we need to, again, support Vita Vea. I hope Logan Hall that develops a lot this second season because he really didn't give me anything to believe in. I hope JTS improves because he had a few flashes, but then he just disappeared by always running around. So we have to we have a lot of work ahead of us. And Jeff Olson said, as long as we keep David and Dean, that's all I care about. Me too, man. I do. I really want those two to stay. Again, I feel like if David does come back, he wants to be a Buck. He wants to retire as one, so it'll be his last season. It just depends on how far we go, because I honestly, the division is bad. It's not going to get any better anytime soon. So the Bucks still have enough talent. That's where I think a lot of people don't realize that. Yes, are we going to be Super Bowl contenders? No. But if we play things the right way, get a serviceable veteran quarterback in here with what we have, this could be a possibly 9 to 10 winning team. 9 to 10 wins, depending on the quarterback. I think Baker can get us at least 5 to 6 games to win. And the defense, if we do things right with Bowles, he can get us at least 4 wins. And what Fred Moore say, that 8 yards off the receiver drive me crazy. Me too, Fred. I told you, if the Buccaneers if Bowles literally, he should do, in my opinion, 65% man and 20% zone, and then the rest should be mid cushion. There's no reason to try to play cushion when you don't have the receiving core. I mean the corners to do that. And we don't have a strong pass rush yet either. When Shaq went down, there was no excuse. Now we had serviceable linebackers and edge rushers to help pick up the slack, but that's not going to be the case next season. They're going to adjust, which we couldn't. So Bowles, I need you to just play to the strength of this team. Whatever, utilize your best players. I don't ever want to see Vita Vea going into coverage ever. That's just dumb. That's just dumb. So please, Bucks, Light, this is your moment to shine again. You was a hell of a guy in the 2020 draft. Winfield, Trask, home runs right there. Those are basically, in my opinion, 2 Hall of Famers if they continue with their careers. And we have, the defense is fine, I think. If you can't keep Dean, then you draft someone that's physical. We need a physical corner. Get me a 6-foot guy that's physical as hell that can tackle another Carlton Davis. If you have to look for someone with speed, so be it, but make sure they still know how to jam. That is the biggest thing. The secondary needs to stay solid to help the pass rush, because again, you already know what I said. First round, left tackle. Second round, defensive interior lineman to help Vita, another pass rusher. Then you can go for a corner. Then in the 5th round, maybe look at another linebacker. I think we need to get a linebacker with speed to complement Devin. And then next season, we need to utilize Devin White the way the Cowboys use Parsons, because Devin has the speed to get around offensive linemen. So that's definitely something that needs to really be considered. And what did Fred say? Yeah, it drives me crazy. And before I get off again, I want to go back into the moments, the glory moments that I have about Brady. His first season, when, like I told people, when he played against the Chargers, that was memorable. Let's see, what was another game that he just went off? He went off on so many games that oh yeah, the game against the Bears, the second season, his second season in, we stomped we stomped Justin Fields, but Brady went off that game too. It was embarrassing, and I loved it. I loved how we embarrassed teams. See, the first 2 years we embarrassed teams, and that's how we know that Arians was the shot caller, not Leftwich. Don't let Arians blind you with that bullshit. That was completely him. He was just trying to help Byron's dumbass to get a position, and he didn't deserve it. I really wish that Jacksonville, well, you know what? I don't wish bad on people, but I wish that the Jacksonville Jaguars would have picked up Byron, because then it would have been completely different. Fred, I disagree. 27 was awful. Dean didn't suck it, but Dean had potential his first year. If you watch games, you could see Dean had the speed and everything. 27 didn't have a damn thing. He didn't have shit. He was getting burnt, just nothing. The only time we seen him make some decent plays was in special teams. I don't know, man. I'd look for somebody else. I don't see him developing. I could be wrong. I hope I'm wrong, but for right now, for insurance, I'm drafting another corner so he can have some competition so he doesn't even get comfortable. I don't even want that guy to think that he has it like that. I want him to go, yeah, I need to work my ass off. But let's get back to the memorable moments of Brady. That second year, we were just dominant. We just we scored at will. And that's what I miss. That's one thing I do miss is that we had a team that was all in. And I know he was saying that it miscommunication. Rick was saying the miscommunication, but that still shouldn't have. That play in the against the Rams with Bowles, that was just a dumbass call. You always at that point you double cup. You have someone at least try to bump him to get, to try to get him off the, and mess the timing up with Stafford. That is the now I know he says AB leaving was our downfall. Yes, I hear you, but no, that was our downfall because Brady still fought his way back in the game and we tied that shit up, and that was it. The Bucs stopped Stafford on that. We win the game. We go to the Super Bowl. We beat the Bengals. And who knows? Arians would have stayed. That is the biggest mystery that we're gonna have to find out. What happened this year to make Arians want to go into the upper office? That is the big thing that I want to know now during the offseason. And I really hope I can find out. I really hope that information comes out so we can know. Like Arians, Brady, what happened, man? What happened? Because this season didn't have to go out like this way. And that's just something that we're going to have to, understand and ask, and hopefully we get the answers in the future. But on that note, though, I'm about to be out. Thank you guys for allowing me to, vent and talk with you guys and chop it up. And for anybody who wants to know more about me, you can always find me on YouTube on my channel. It's about Buck and Time. My TikTok and Instagram is FlexLuthor_813. And then also, please check out my merchandise website. I got a lot of motivational quotes, shirts. I got a lot of designs, especially, and a shout out to the Tampa, Florida theme crowd because I'm a Florida boy at heart, so I like that kind of stuff. Please go to ajturnup.myspreadshop.com. That is ajturnup.myspreadshop.com. If you do that within the first, you have 6 days and you get 15% off. 15% off, and they're reasonable prices. Please support your local businesses, and it's good stuff out there. Got so much good stuff, and I'm going to be adding more into that. So please check it out. But again, this is the Bucs Report Aftermath. Let's all give a shout out to Slick as well, even though he's not here right now. He's still with us in spirit, and I'm sure when he comes back, he's going to have a lot to say. And again, thank you all out here, and let's give it up one more time. Let's Bucs on 3. 1, 2, 3. Go Bucs!